Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be covering the fastest ways to gather acid and how to just accumulate a lot of it over time. Of course, pay attention to the comments too, because there's probably a lot of great suggestions in there that I might have missed in the video, but I think I covered most of it here, and yeah, just let me know in the comments what you think and let's get into the video. So I think the best way to gather lots of acid is to farm a Colossal Problem. Now that's not easy because you have to launch a nuke, and it's just, it can be tough down here in the mine doing this event if you're, not a seasoned player. Of course, you don't even have to kill Earl. I just want to throw that out there. Like, the lobbies are a little bit, like with newer players now, right? So like a lot of people aren't coming to the event. There's not a lot of people helping with the event, but that doesn't matter. Like, I'm just saying, throwing this out there, that you could just come to this event still and not even kill Earl, which is what happened to me earlier today. And there's tons of Wendigos to come here and kill. And like I said, all you have to do is drop a nuke on Monongah Mine, which I'm going to leave a link in the description on a good way to launch a nuke, one of the fastest ways to launch a nuke. So if you need to learn how to do that, that will be in the description. And of course, like I said, with the Wendigos, you will collect a lot of Wendigo teeth, which is 2 acid each. So just from doing that event for 10 or 15 minutes, I got 200 acid. It's one of the better ways. I find the more you hurt Earl, the more Wendigos spawn. So that's why I didn't see a lot either. I think you can definitely get more, is my point. And I highly recommend having glow sight if you're going to do that event. And like I said, if you want to start this event up, it's not one that'll just happen every hour or so. You literally need to launch a nuke. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description that will help you do that. And you need to throw a nuke onto Monongah Mine. Now I just moved it over to the left here a little bit because there was some houses there and I didn't want to nuke any, players' houses, obviously, so I just moved it over to the left. As long as you have that red circle covering Monongah Mine, this event will pop up and you will be able to travel to it. And like I said, don't even worry about beating it, just go there and get, some good materials if you can. Of course it's nice to beat it, but if you can't, don't worry about it. Now, some easier ways to collect a lot of acid. I highly recommend having an acid deposit at your camp. Now, you can find lots of acid deposits on the map. I will link an interactive map where you can find all these deposits, and then maybe you can choose a good place to put your camp and then build your camp around it like I have here. And it is 10 like every half an hour, I think, or an hour maybe, but it does add up. Every time you come home, you just collect that, and it, that's about gathering a lot of it, is just having it add up. Of course, the Horde events, especially the Cricket ones, the Yao Guai ones, will have lots of acid. So just keep an eye out for those. If you are doing this event, if you don't kill the Horde boss, he will keep spawning more enemies. So just keep that in mind. You can actually sit here and just keep killing enemies for a bit. I think they do stop spawning them in after a while, and you got to babysit a 3-star legendary, so it can be a little tricky, especially with bears, but I'm just throwing that out there. If you can prolong this event, it will help you get more acid. Another good way to get acid is at Hemlock Holes, and it's just to the left of the golf course there, or Hemlock Holes mini putt or something, whatever it is there up here north of the map. And you can actually put 3 resource stations here to collect acid. But before you do that at the resources, make sure you collect the acid like I'm doing here, because you can get a little bit extra before you put the extractors down, I think they're called. And I'm just going to show you a simple way to set up camp here so you can have all 3 of them running. You're going to need a bit of materials, but it's really not that bad. You don't even have to use a big generator, but I highly recommend it. But that's all you need, is that generator and these 3 resource stations, acid extractors. And you can hook them all up together without anything else. You might have to move the fusion generator around a bit like I did here. You can see it wouldn't reach, so I just moved it over to the right a little bit. And, of course, it was able to reach now, and there we go. Now we're accumulating acid. Now, I would do this when you first start farming acid, especially if you are, if you can go into a private server. Definitely do this right away before you start doing any other acid farming, because that stuff will accumulate while you're doing it. Now, another thing too to keep in mind when you're over at Hemlock Holes, if you just run over here to this crashed vertibird, which I'm showing where to go, there's Hemlock right there. So if you just come over here to the crashed vertibird, you'll find it pretty easily. There's always a couple snallygasters over here, and they have acid. And there's also a grafted monster over here, which also has acid. Keeping in mind you will have to defend Hemlock Holes, but once you defend it once, you're pretty much good for a couple of hours at least. Providing your game doesn't crash, man. Oh, so many crashes right now, unfortunately. I really hope that they fix that. Let me know in the comments everyone's opinion on that. I'm experiencing that myself, which is unfortunate. Sometimes, 3-4 times in a couple hours. But anyway, yeah, here's the grafted monster over here too. And he has acid as well, like I said. Another great place to get acid is Tanager Town, which I'm showing here. Now, the only thing about this place is that you're going to have to learn how to climb this tree. If you've never done it before, I highly recommend doing it in power armor first, because, once you get past right about here, if you fall, you're going to die. And it is very easy to fall and die, especially if you haven't done this before. But yeah, this is pretty much the route you have to take. You can see it's pretty sketchy. And once you're up here, there's tons of crickets to kill, and they have lots of acid. So another great place to come to. Yeah, I got a little mixed up there. It's pretty easy to find. You just follow the path up there. And like I said, there are a lot of crickets in here to kill, which have a lot of acid. I get anywhere between 40 to 70 acid here every time I come over here. So this is one of the real good spots. And I'm going to show a couple more spots as well. And of course, you don't have to have Fallout first or anything like that to come, or launch a nuke to come to these spots. That's why I wanted to throw out these ones for any newer players that are maybe trying to smelt some ammo, or sorry, some ore, I should say. And this is another great place, is the flooded train yard. And I see anywhere from 4 to 7 snallygasters here. I think I've seen up to 7, maybe, something around there. There's definitely a good amount of snallygasters over here too, which give you, even more acid, just like the ones at Hemlock Holes. And I just want to point out too that you can leave the server and come back into another one, and these enemies will spawn. I just highly recommend you're not at one of these places, because it can be a little, weird sometimes. It might not work. But just to show you at Toxic Larry's here, which is another place that you can get 3 snallygasters quick, I'm going to show you that I just kill them, leave the lobby. I don't even leave Toxic Larry's meet and go. I kill them, leave the lobby, or sorry, the server, and then come back in, and then all 3 of them are here again. Now, that might not always work if you don't fast travel away from it, so I'm just pointing that out. Yeah, you don't have to fast travel away from it, but I highly recommend it. So as you can see, I killed them all. Going back to main menu, and I assure you they will be there when you go into a different server. Unless someone was there recently or something like that. Even then, they should still be there. And here I am spawning in. And they might not spawn in right away, so just give it a second. Especially if you're still here and you did fast travel like a little bit of distance away. But yes, like I show, they will be here. And, that's a good way to get acid too. You can just leave server and come back on. Leave server, come back on. And it will build up very quickly. I just want to point out a couple events too. Moonshine Jamboree is probably maybe the best one for acid. I can't think of a better one, to be honest. You get tons of acid from the Gulper glands here, I think it is. I usually get like maybe even 150 to 180. So just throwing that out there. Campfire Tales is another really good one as well. Just wanted to mention it will give you a lot of acid. Project Paradise can, but that's a little bit more of a trickier one to do. And yeah, just keep an eye out for those events. Moonshine Jamboree I would recommend over all of those. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. I'm sure this will help you get more than enough acid. And thanks again for all the support on the channel, everyone. Have a great day.